Okay guys, we got a 2009 Toyota here with a 1.8. We're going to do a tranny filter change. So let's crawl underneath. This car, unlike most other cars, has a drain plug on the transmission pan. A lot of different vehicles don't. So we can drain it before we pull the bolts. So let's get underneath there. You're going to need a 10mm Allen here, or 3/8 if you don't have a 10, but 10 is going to fit a lot better. Let's crack it loose. It's going to be right there. We'll bust it loose and we'll let that drain real quick. Okay, there we are. She's starting to drain. We'll let that drain out, then we can put the plug back in, then we can start pulling the 10mm bolts. You're going to have 19 10mm bolts going around the outside. Make sure you double check yours, because a lot of these 1.8s had 18 bolt, and you don't want to get the wrong gasket and filter. I believe the filters were the same, but the gasket's going to be incorrect. So if you're going to get the kit, make sure it's a 19 bolt pan is the one you're getting if you have this same car. So it looks like she's just about done. We'll put the plug on it and we'll start pulling loose those bolts. Okay guys, so go ahead and pop loose this little plastic here, because you're going to need to get to those corner pan bolts. Let me zoom back. I'm on the driver's side right now, right in front of the tire. So and there's our drain plug. So you're going to need to pull that plastic back in order to get to these two bolts, possibly that third one there. And at that point you can run them all out. So these are 10mm. Let's go ahead and yank all these down. Normally we would be concerned with a little bit of fluid coming out because it would be full. We would take them all out except for the back side, let it drain forward. If you see my other videos, you understand why. In this case, we don't have to because we have the drain plug. So let's go ahead and unbolt these. We'll hold it up as we take the last one out, lower it down onto our drain pan, and when we don't make a huge mess all over the floor as well, right? All right, let me get these off. Okay, you're gonna have a little more drippage, it looks like, because the pan's super thin here, but I have the front of the vehicle in the air, so it's gonna drain a little bit. So you can just pull them off one at a time and let her sit on an angle. These pans are pretty thick, and so it's not gonna hurt the end here. And I'm gonna show you how to ping that pan anyway if you haven't watched some of my videos. Make sure you get a tray there to keep your stuff organized. They sell these little trays at the store, mechanic store and such. Mine's a coffee can lid. You know how it is about saving money. Oh wait, some of theirs are magnetic somewhere here. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna go all out, right? All right, so we'll go ahead and pull the last three of these, or two of these. I use air sometimes to take these off. I like using the drill because it's quick and easy and I can hold it right there. When you put these on, do them by hand. Don't put these back on with a drill or an impact or anything. So we got one left, so I'll go ahead and hold the pan up now. I'll need to use two hands here and pull that last bolt out. I can push it up so she quits leaking. So let me get that last one out. Your Wix filter kit, the number is 58324 if you get this one. There's several different brands you can choose from. I like Wix. This is going to have three 10mm bolts holding this in, two here and one here, and then of course you have your gasket. And we'll put the gasket on the pan when we put that together. So let's go ahead and pull that other filter out. Don't forget you got a small O-ring, there it is, that's going to sit on top of that as well. So make sure you get it out of the old one when you pull it out. So here's our two 10s here and our one here. Let's drop this down. Okay, so there's the last one there. Those are actually pretty long, but that's because they are part of the system that holds the part of that valve body in too. So I like to use the pan itself at this point because it's a lot lower and there's not much more fluid in there. So there's our old one. We're going to glance there, make sure our O-ring is on it, and it looks like it is, so we know that it's not up in the transmission. Now let's put the old O-ring on the new one and get that one placed in there. Okay, here's our new one here. We'll pop her in place. The O-ring should hold it up there just a tad bit for us. I may have to use two hands here. It looks like it's going to. And then we grab a bolt. All three of these bolts are the same size, so we can go ahead and place those wherever we want to place them. So let me get that tightened up and we'll get ready to put this pan back together. I'll show you how I clean these pans. If you've never seen me clean them before, you're gonna go holy crap, but works great. Be right back. Here we are in our tranny filter, our tranny pan cleaning area. So just try to get the gasket off the best you can. If you don't get a whole lot of it off, it's okay, because the way we're cleaning it, it's amazing. It's like sandblasting a car. And tranny guys hate me for this because they don't want a drop of dust in that transmission. That's okay, because we're gonna rinse it with water too, and we are going to air dry it out, and it's really quick and easy. So don't be afraid. Get some dirt in there and just check it out how it cleans it. I mean, it just literally cleans it. Now this dirt that I'm using is soil that I change out all the time, and it gets disposed of properly. So make sure if you do this, it's not in a place where your kids play and such. It's not the sandbox. So let's clean this up. Let's get her rinsed off, and let's put the new gasket around there. And I'll show you how those bolts will help hold that gasket in place if you haven't done this before. Be right back again. Okay guys, so I don't care who you are. That is just awesome the way it cleans that pan, right? And then we just rinsed it with water and then we dried it off. Bottom we're not too worried about. We set those down on the ground and forgot about them. So you'll notice down inside you had a couple magnets there. Those magnets are going to go inside. I didn't clean those yet, so let me clean those. Those are just going to lay down inside. Put them in the lowest point, probably right where this L is would be great. Actually, I think that's for one, and then the other one's right there. So that's where you're going to put them, right back where they go. Then we're going to stick this pan on here and we're going to pop the bolts through. Now if you notice on the holes of the gasket, they're much smaller. That's so that it squeezes the bolt in and it holds the gasket in shape, because you can tell that's going to be tough to get that in shape. No blue glue, no black glue, no RTV glue whatsoever. Don't put any glue of any sort on a transmission pan. I've never had these leaks because I do two things, and you do those two things and they will never leak. One is the gasket, absolutely no glue. The second is pinging the pan. I'm gonna grab a socket and show you exactly what that means. Okay, so we're just gonna grab a socket that fits in there nice and snug, and you're gonna tap the top of it. Just like that. When these bolts get tightened down on this pan, they will tend to squeeze a little bit, and the other side will be lifted just a hair. You'll know if they're lifted if you lay the pan on a flat piece of concrete and it rocks on you. This one's in good shape because it's a nice thick pan, but I will still ping every single hole. It's what I do every time. We'll ping this, we'll put the gasket on it, we won't put no glue on it, and when we put it on, I'm gonna show you how I tighten them up so that you'll never have a leak. I've never had one come back in the thousands that I've done. So never had it leak. So here we go. Okay, so now we got all the bolts started in there. See, the pan is loose. Get them all in before you tighten down any of them. So now at this point, we're gonna go around and snug them up, and then I'm gonna show you how we tighten them. So now I'm just gonna snug them up so they're all just up close. Okay guys, so now they're all snugged up. You can see the pan snug. You're just gonna grab the pan or the bolt and grab it just like this with your hand. You're not gonna reach way out here. You're gonna reach way in here. You're gonna grab it with your hand and just give it a snug like that. That's it. That's as tight. That one a little bit more. That's as tight as you want it. You don't want to over tighten these because that's what's going to cause them to leak. They'll stay tight. They'll be tight enough. There. I'll work my way around back and forth every now and again. There. You can see when I tightened that, I think the gasket back inside there was trying to push out just a hair. I hope you can see that. If you see that gasket moving out like that, stop. That's all the further that you want to go. So let me go around and get all these tightened up, and then we'll fill it up. Okay, there we are back on top. Now, this particular car, if you look it up, tells you two different situations or stories. One, it holds 3.2 gallons on a fill and 7.5 on a flush. Another one says it holds 3.7 gallons on a fill. So we know we're between 3.2 and 3.7. The best thing to do is put 3.2 in it and run it for a second and then check it, because you don't want too much in a transmission. Oil, not so bad if you're a little over, bad if you're low, right? Transmission, it's better to be a little tiny bit low than it is over. Why? Because it works on fuel fluid pressure to shift those clutches. So let's get it dead on is what we're going to do. Now, if you haven't checked these before, and I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, on Toyota, they got notches instead of holes. See where it says cold and hot? That is always with the engine running. Now, if you just fire it up in the morning and you want to check it, you're going to be at that cold spot right there. If you just ran it to go to the store or something and came back and it's hot, you're going to check it on the hot side. But either way, both locations, the engine needs to be running. So we want to get it right up there to the full mark. When it's hot, down there when it's cold. So, and in between these two spots, that far one there and this one here equals 1 quart. So if you're right in between, obviously you're going to take a half a quart, right? So I think that's it. I'm going to top off the fluid here and we'll get this one out. Then we'll get on a Chevy truck if you need to know how to do a clutch on one of those. Thanks a bunch, you guys. Please click like, please click subscribe. Click on my name underneath this video for all my other how-to videos, and including an oil change that we did on this one and a few other things. We're going to swap some tires, fix some grill and stuff. But as always, guys, enjoy.